Shalom, Yasharallah. Again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahawah, Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for your Akim pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here quick article real quick dealing with this here, how you call it, coronavirus, all right? But nevertheless, just doing a little bit of research on this here thing, over the last couple of days and whatnot, everything is pretty much turning up to be the same, so, it's pretty much having the same information all over the different place, dealing with symptoms and, just the things like that, the characteristics of this here disease, and hey, man, this here thing is literally a plague, man. But check this here article out. It says, coronavirus is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide. Chinese president to the World Health Organization chief, right? See, even in the news and the media, man, like the scriptures say, the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry, wait for it, it shall it shall surely come, and it shall not tarry, all right? But nevertheless, we've been telling you this over and over and over and over again about, the signs of the end of the world. There's going to be wars and rumors of wars. In fact, we'll actually just grab that in the scriptures. But nevertheless, we've been telling you about these here prophecies and things coming to pass, that are set forth to come to pass. But now we're living in a time where the Lord is actually bringing down this here judgment and great judgment. All right. Hey, just like Apostle Hart coined this here year to year prophecy, man. And as we just, pretty much getting to the end of January, man, damn near every day has been filled with basically prophecy. Things have been happening on large scales. People have been shaken up and being forced to basically, have an eye opener situation, with certain things, they have to look at certain things like this here virus situation, a lot of people here in America, this is like that city that dwell carelessly, they don't really care about the things that's going on around the rest of the world and the tragedies or whatever, whatnot. But, because here in America, hey, everything is so-called good comparatively to what's going on around the rest of the world. But nevertheless, especially when you first hear about this coronavirus, oh, that's in China, whatever, whatnot. Well, you hear a lot of these Americans making jokes about, oh, don't eat the Chinese food or whatever, whatnot. But nevertheless, at the end all be all, as they over there laughing and joking about these things, now you got a couple different cases of people with it over here. All right. And you had, and again, going back into the traits of this here disease, man, there's really no way of telling if somebody have this thing. There's another article talking about how basically, I believe it was China replicated. They redesigned, or they replicated this here disease, which to begin with, all right, they had already created this from the jump. This was basically, like, what are those other diseases called? SARS and measles, I think it is. But nevertheless, this is basically all man. This is created by man. All right. But nevertheless, and there's no telling how this here thing got out. At the end all be all, it's the Most High's doing. Whether they intentionally spread this or if there was an actual outbreak. You know what I'm saying? Or because a lot of the reports is coming from them speaking about, oh, this comes from eating, to us, how we would think, weird animals and stuff like that, which according to the scripture, you shouldn't be eating a lot of these animals that they be eating over there, man. All right. Hey, going into these damn heathen, these heathen why they heathens, man? You know what I'm saying? One of the brothers sent out a video of these Moabites over there eating like a whole bunch of shit. And it was, bro, that I would put that video in here, but nah, I ain't even gonna fuck nobody up with that one. You know what I'm saying? They just, they got like, how they got, how they say, shrimp on a barbie. These motherfuckers got a whole bunch of little small crabs like the size of quarters and stuff like that. These, like where I live at, they got a lot of these little crabs. You see them at the, like, sometimes you see them on the beach or around certain rivers and stuff like that, man. All right, but they're these little bitty small little crabs. They like the size of a quarter. All right, and homegirl got like maybe 10, 15 of these things on a stick, and she's just crunching down on them, whatever, whatnot, Then she start eating another weird kind of animal, a conch, which is like a big ass shell or snail inside of a shell, basically. You know what I'm saying? And it's just gross. You know what I'm saying? And she biting into this thing. First of all, it looked like a male's reproductive organ. All right, you know what I'm saying? It looked like that first and foremost, and she go and bite onto this thing. She be slapping around, she bite onto it, and then all the juices inside just squirt her all in the face, and she go right back to eating it. Now, the whole time she videotaping this shit, oh, this is the cool shit to do, whatever, whatnot. But look, this is where all this shit come from, man. Fucking around with these heathen, man. And our people dealing with our people, man. Our people like to look at a lot of these strange things that these heathen do and think that that's some kind of upscale type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I eat crabs and lobsters. Esau make all the abominable shit, so-called how you call it, like luxury food. There's a term for it, but you know, he make all the abominations basically luxury foods, right? And if you were to find out that basically crabs and lobsters and shrimp, they pretty much in the roach family. They pretty much the same shit. They like the sea roaches. You wouldn't want to be eating that shit. You know, if you understood how they would just go around be eating a bunch of dead shit, you know what I'm saying, to cleanse the ocean, you wouldn't want to eat that. You see what I'm saying? But a delicacy, that's what it is. But nevertheless, Esau make these things delicacies, you know. I'll go get some lobster expensive, whatever, whatnot. And because of the way our people was growing up, I remember when I was young, you know what I'm saying, you was so-called balling or whatever, whatnot, you know what I'm saying? If you could, first of all, when I was growing up, like, we didn't really go out to eat as a family because, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of expensive to take 4 people out. You know, my mom, my dad, me, and my sister, you know what I'm saying? So if anything, they would probably just go out to eat or something like that, you know? And I remember as we was getting older, every once in a while, we would go out to certain restaurants, you know what I'm saying, here and there. I remember this one, I forgot what the hell the name of that restaurant, but I don't think it's there no more. Over in Atlanta, it's called the Red Dragon, the Red Pearl. It was called the Red Pearl. Like an all-you-can-eat buffet out there, and you can go get crab legs and all kind of shit like that. So what did Jake do when we felt like we was balling? You know what I'm saying? We would go out to this little restaurant and get all-you-can-eat crab legs or whatever, whatnot, you know? Or, again, back in those days, you think you balling, you go take your chick out to Red Lobster. What's up, girl? Let me take you out to the Red Lobster real quick, you know? But then, you know, and then nowadays people look at that type of shit, like just carnally looking at it as like, man, I know, a cheap ass restaurant or whatever, whatnot, you know? But hey, back in the days, we looked at that as like a so-called a delicacy, you know? Oh, we kind of living good if we can sit here and buy a whole bunch of snow crab legs or some shit like that, a bunch of shrimp, big ass shrimp, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know, that's how Jake used to think back in the days, you know? But nevertheless, you know, and then you see our people doing a lot of shit like eating sushi and like a whole lot of other shit, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we gonna eat some snail. You know what I'm saying? We're going to eat some puffer fish. Like, bitch, you ain't never ate none of that shit in your life. But because you see these people doing this on TV, you know what I'm saying? And you think that this is, you know, just like, you know, Jake think just weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it's not even all that so-called cool because they don't know. They don't know no better. Just like you hear Jake like, shit, bro, I got these new Persian rugs off in my house. Like, you mean Iranian rugs? You like, yeah, shit, they say made in Persia right here. I just got them shipped. Like, you know, them shits came from Iran. Man, we don't fuck with them old Arabs over there. Fuck them niggas. You know, like, oh, so first of all, we ain't gonna get on whether or not they Arabs because they actually different people. But nevertheless, you go over here talking about fuck them Arabs, you ain't buying shit from them, but yet you over here boasting about how you got a Persian rug. If your simple ass knew that Persia name was changed from Persia to Iran, it's the same place, man. So what you really talking about? Yeah, but when you think about it as so-called Iran, you're like, no, that ain't really popping, but we want these Persian rugs. You know, Jake like to name drop a lot of shit or whatever, whatnot, just because it's X, Y, and Z. Oh, just because I like Gucci or Louis Vuitton, just because we know that this is some expensive ass shit. Like, yeah, but the quality ain't really all that. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, this is how Jake wound up doing, you know, following after these damn heathen, all right? So let me read. This is a quick little short article real quick, but I'm going to grab some scriptures because a couple of them keep popping in my head real quick. It says China's president Xi Jinping has called the deadly epidemic a devil. All right, and that's exactly what it is. Is really the Lord putting these death spirits out here, man. All right, to cause all this here death, man, death and destruction. This is the day that we were talking about, the day of the Lord, man. All right, now it's really heating up, man. It's really, really heating up. Now, I say that from so-called Americans' perspective because technically the day of the Lord has already been here. When you go look around the rest of the globe, they've been getting fucked up already for like the last fucking decade. Really, like, damn near the last 20 years, they've been getting fucked up over on the rest of the side of the globe, especially them Arabs over there, right? The Ishmaelites. But nevertheless, right now, and at this here point in time, the Lord is really stirring things up, man. You got all kind of earthquakes in diverse places, man. You got fires. You got all Australia completely on fire. All right, you got deadly outbreaks of diseases, you know, running rampant across the world, got the whole world scared. All right, you got all these different things going on the planet Earth all simultaneously at the same time as we just get into this brand new year. All right, so-called new year. All right, but nevertheless, this is what the Lord, you know, prophesied that was going to happen before his return, man. All right, these was the signs that you was going to be left with. All right, so it says, meanwhile, both Japan and Germany have detected their first domestic transmission cases of the coronavirus. The epidemic is a devil, and we cannot allow this devil to hide. And what's funny is, why don't they think like that towards Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all right? Because he done killed off way more people than this coronavirus is even infected. Not saying infected, but affected. or yeah, like basically affected. Like the people that's in quarantine right now, the people on lockdown, the people that's scared. Yeah, Esau killed way more people than that. You know what I'm saying? If you even terrified over here in America, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna count all them people in as people affected by this here situation. Yeah, Esau done killed way more people than that, man. You see what I'm saying? But hey, there ain't nobody besides the men of the Lord, the Israelites, all right, that you know, preach out here. And, well, you got the other camps too, but you know what I'm saying? We the only ones telling you that the so-called white man, which is biblically known as Esau Edom, all right, the damn devil, all right, he need to be put out. He need to be eradicated, right? But now they talking about this here disease, all right? But nevertheless, you know, they talking about, oh, this devil, we got to get rid of this devil, man. Just want to point out a little hypocrisy. It says, this epidemic is a devil we cannot allow, and we cannot allow the devil to hide. She told the World Health Organization head, Tedros, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, during the meeting in Beijing. Tedros praised China for its swift response in identifying the genome sequence and putting measures in place to curb the epidemic. The Chinese people are engaged in a serious struggle. Well, how they got on this here kind of quick. First of all, they already had the damn disease to begin with. They was already studying this shit to begin with. So, and ain't no telling if they created this shit, you know what I'm saying? Or if it was man-made created. So obviously, you know, they got it from somewhere. All right. But it says, the Chinese people are engaged in a serious struggle. Xi Jinping stressed, while alarming reports about the outbreak have been coming from different parts in the world. In just 24 hours, the number of infected skyrocketed from 2,835 to more than 4,500, according to China's National Health Commission. Since the epidemic started, the new virus have already killed claimed 106 lives, which these numbers are all wrong, because we was having reports of this way earlier off that these numbers was higher than that already. You know, and there's a lot of people already a lot of people that's still over there. That's actually, because everybody got cell phones, man. Everybody can pretty much broadcast, you know, around the whole earth, man. That's how this here gospel went out throughout the four corners of the earth through the internet, all right? Same way as we able to watch these prophecies happen, all right? Because, look, the mainstream media news ain't really telling you about a whole lot of different shit that's going on. You know, they talking about the Kobe Bryant situation and so on and so forth, yet and still you got, you know, you know, they got you worried about one person. Well, it was like 8 or 9 people on there dying, but, you know, most people only concerned about Kobe Bryant. You know, they were like, oh, that's so sad how he died. Like, bitch, y'all ass is still living, and this damn virus is running rampant right now. What about all these people? What happens if this is your ass next, man? You know, you can't really even fathom what quarantine is like. You know, like I said, just studying this whole situation is like, yo, man, the signs and symptoms are so generic to where you can have a cough, you could be stressed out, you could be fatigued, you could be, you know, tired or whatever, whatnot. You can, you know, any of these things can, a runny nose. You know, all these are so-called symptoms of the coronavirus, which again is kind of like, that's some bullshit, because they'll tell you they don't really know anything about this damn virus. Well, what they saying, you know, they don't know what the real symptoms are. They don't know, you know, because that's why they'll tell you to, like, oh, we don't really know the exact numbers, because we can't really tell you if these motherfuckers are dying from this or if they're not dying from that or whatever, whatnot, you know. But like I said, man, they got videos circulating around where, you know, you got people these people dumb as hell. Like, you see them walking through the damn hospital, you know what I'm saying? And the whole hospital is just full of people in there, man. And they all trying to get treatment. And then you see a lot of people laid out on the floor, just completely covered up, like just dead bodies, man. And people just walking right by these motherfuckers and sitting next to them and everything, man. And I seen a video the other day of a Uber driver getting kicked out, or Uber driver kicking some dude out of his cab, his little cab or whatever. I don't know if it was Uber or not, but kicking this guy out of his cab because he came in there. Now, they all got the little mask on, which is probably because of the pollution over there. But nevertheless, they all got the little mask on. But dude gets inside the car with him, and he just coughs one time, and the driver looks at him a little weird. Well, first he get in, he's like, yeah, just take me to the nearest hospital. He's like, all right, cool. So the guy, you know, he happens to cough one time, you know, and then the driver looks at him like, you all right? You sick? He's like, he didn't really answer. He's like, yo, where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm from this place. He's like, you don't sound like you from that place. You sound like you from somewhere else. He's like, hey, have you traveled to Wuhan lately? He's like, yeah, I'm just getting back from Wuhan and I'm trying to go to the hospital right now. And the driver was like, what the fuck? And he pulled over and told this nigga to get out of his car, right? But I'm like, yo, dog, y'all ride in the car, windows up, AC on, but you already infected, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo ass, and again, you ain't gonna be able to see the signs or the symptoms until it's too late, man. Like the dude, the passenger in the car, before he started having those signs and symptoms, all right, he had been already exposing other people to the same disease, man. All right, so it ain't no telling how many other people he had infected, man. And that's how quick and easy it is to be able to spread, man. All right. And like, hey, I was watching something and it was like basically saying the best precautions you can take is basically put on a damn hazmat suit with a gas mask and eye protective glasses and shit like that. Stay inside the house. Don't leave. And if you got to get food or anything else, order it off of Amazon and order like basically like Uber Eats. And I'm like, bitch, what happens if the Uber Eats guy or somebody at the restaurant or something like that got the shit and they bring you the food or whatever? You did all this packaging up, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody delivered you some food or, you know, your Amazon package, you get there and the Amazon driver may have had the shit. Now it's on your box and then you know, same shit, you know? That's why there's no use of trying to put your trust inside a man, all right? This is the Most High's doing, and the only way to be exempt from this is through the Most High, man, all right? He will have mercy on who he will have mercy on, all right? It says, of particular concern are reports from Japan and Germany where the first cases of coronavirus not directly linked to recent travels to China were confirmed. The infected Japanese person was a bus driver who still apparently had contact with Chinese tourists from Wuhan this month. All right, see what I'm saying? Like, yo, they didn't know, you know what I'm saying? He might have had contact with these people, let's say on day one when the virus got out, right? On day one when the virus got out, there's no telling how many people got infected on that day, right? Now, these people was going around infecting other people. Now, as soon as they caught it, they didn't know that they got it right then and there. You know what I'm saying? There's really no signs. They say up to like 4 or 5 days, you can have no signs, all right? And you can still be spreading it at that same time. So just imagine on day one, all right? People, you know, this guy here was a bus driver, right? Yeah, he was a bus driver. Let's say somebody got on the damn bus, right? And they happened, before they got on the bus, you know, they already had the shit, right? They sneezed and they covered their mouth, right? But now, all of a sudden, they didn't got on the bus and held the handrail, got on the bus, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't put the bacteria on the handrail. Now, everybody getting on and off the bus is rubbing that damn handrail, you know what I'm saying? And then not only that, you know what I'm saying? He was on the bus breathing. So, you know, a little saliva might have got here on this seat or that seat. Now, somebody else wound up getting infected, you know, and so on and so forth. Now, all the people that was on that bus, because they didn't disinfect the bus, because they wasn't even expecting that bus, you know, to wind up having that on there, because they don't even know that the disease is out yet. This is all day one, right? So more and more people getting on and off the bus, you know, spreading this here thing. Now, all those people that was on the bus that took this shit back home to their families, right? From the families, spreading, the husband spread it to the wife, the kids go off to school, spread it to their classmates, the teachers, the kids who catch it, take it home to their parents, all right? And then all the parents of all these people, they got a job, right? They go to work and then wind up at work spreading it to all their coworkers, right? Now, at their job, more than likely, they got customers that come into their job. Now, all the customers come in. You see how this is an endless cycle, man. You see what I'm saying? So, really, and they'll tell you, you know, if you watch the right shit, you know, going into the so-called traits of this here disease, they'll basically tell you there's no way of counting and calculating how many people got this, how far it been spread already, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth, you know, because it ain't no necessarily the symptoms that they tell you about all mirror basically like the normal flu or normal common cold, or really just the every fucking day life of being here in Babylon, you know what I'm saying, like a cough. Like, bitch, you know what we breathing in? You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got no good clean air anyway. Like, yo, most people is wheezing and coughing and can't breathe right anyway because of goddamn the shit that you raining down on us. You see what I'm saying? You could be fatigued because why? You know, fatigue going into like tiredness because, first of all, you ain't getting no real energy from your food. Matter of fact, you go sit down and eat your plate of so-called soul food and your ass be showing symptoms of the coronavirus. Like, shit, man, I done caught the itis from eating all this here food. Now I'm all tired. Like, oh, shit, that nigga might got the coronavirus. You see, this is all super vague, you know what I'm saying, on the symptoms. Or you can catch the regular flu, you know. Oh, well, so-and-so caught the flu from little Jimmy at school, so we're going to just keep him home all day. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time, homeboy got coronavirus and is just spreading it throughout everybody, man. All right? Oh, no, it's fine. I just got this and that or whatever, whatnot. But then all of a sudden, you know, you spreading this here virus throughout, you know, the whole population. All right? That's why this is actually a demon, man. And what do we know about demons and the damn devil? They're not going to come dressed up as no damn demon or the damn devil, man. A bad deal is never dressed up as a bad deal. You never go to a car lot, a used car lot, and see on a damn window sticker, you know, they always say sometimes great deal or low price, low mileage, right? Things like that to excite you about the car, so-called good things to say about the car, right? You've never been to a car dealership like, this is fucked up, piece of shit, a lemon, don't buy. You don't ever see no signs like that, but how many people be buying these cars from these little car lots and shit like that movie Matilda from back in the day where they dad was scheming like that shit. How many people actually go buy cars like that year in and year out, day in and day out, man? All right, but none of those cars are advertised as piece of shit, or you'll be pissed that you bought this tomorrow, or like you might as well call a mechanic now. They don't have none of those stickers on cars. So bad deals, con men, demons and the devil, they gonna never show up to you. You know what I'm saying? Like well, shit. I was gonna make a statement like, well, some criminals do show up, and you know what the fuck the business is when they go to break crime. You know, like a bank robber may go in with a damn mask on and shit. Like, oh, we know what this is based off his appearance. But nevertheless, you know, dealing with con men and shit like that, and devils and shit. So things like that, man. The con man can't walk up to you with a uniform, say, hey, I'm a con man, and then, hey, I want you to your social security number was stolen. We need you to give us your social security number now so we can go ahead and fix it for you. You know, by the way, here's my business card, #1 con man in America. You know, that shit ain't gonna work, man. Credit card, how you think credit card schemes and all these things work, man? All right, but this is a damn demon, man. All right, because at first, hey, they don't really know what the hell it is, you know, off rip, you know. Like I said, ain't no telling they released this or however it got out, you know. But nevertheless, you know, from just a normal perspective, somebody could look perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, nothing wrong with them. All of a sudden, you get coronavirus from them, you know. Somebody could look like, oh, they just got the flu or something, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, go get this here flu medicine and go sit down somewhere. Then all of a sudden, you know, they got the coronavirus, you know, or, you know, you may be having one or two of the symptoms and you may just think it's something different. You know, you're a little fatigued or whatever, whatnot. Like, yeah, I just been working a little harder at work or longer days at work or whatever, whatnot. It's no big deal. Then before you know it, your ass is, you know, slumped somewhere, you know. Let me just finish this here off. It says, the German patient, meanwhile, was infected by a Chinese colleague during a training event, local health officials reported. And like I said, man, you know what I'm saying, in that training event, I'm pretty sure the homeboy didn't go in there all coughing and so on and so forth. He might have been coughing, but, hey, it wasn't like, yo, you visibly sick. Like, yo, what you got going on right now? You know what I'm saying? But homeboy probably went in there just like any other day or whatever, whatnot. And, hey, you know what I'm saying, had their little meeting or whatever, whatnot. They all inside this little small room, AC pumping, whatever, whatnot, everybody breathing. So all this is just circulating throughout the building, man. All right. Let me grab a couple scriptures real quick. Hey, but just looking into this thing, man, hey, this is a blessing from the Lord, man. The Lord is really moving. You know what I'm saying? God is really putting a lot of these people into subjection and into fear, man. One way or another, they're gonna have to how do you say, reverence the Most High in one way or another, man. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. I'm gonna just start here real quick. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. All right. So the prophets beforehand, they was always in, you know, these different nations, you know, mainly wherever we was in captivity. All right. And what they would go forth and they would prophesy against these countries. All right. And what they would prophesy about them, you know, what they would tell them about their future is, you know, especially at the end of their rulership. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. All right. So this is what the prophets before, you know, they was always bringing the bad news. Like, hey, I did a video on this the other day, Donald Trump talking about the prophets of doom. All right. Yeah. The prophets normally bring doom. All right. They don't normally, you know, come bringing good tidings, you know what I'm saying, like that to a nation. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're in captivity in that nation, you know. Really, the only good news that the prophets got is really to the nation, to the elect of the nation of Israel right now. All right, the Lord, you know, y'all the Israelites, and the Lord's finna come and deliver you, you know. But nevertheless, to the 2/3, that's bad news for y'all. Y'all got to get put to death over here. All these other nations, you going into captivity, you know. So it's still, you know, prophets of doom, you know. But nevertheless, going back into this, it says they prophesied against many, both against many countries and against great kingdoms of what? War, evil, and pestilence. So, you know, things that of the doom-like nature. But one of the things I want to get into is pestilence, man. All right, we've been bringing these precepts out over and over and over and over again. You know, some of the simple-minded people could be watching us and actually just watching, like, man, y'all keep saying the same thing over and over again. You keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Where's the new stuff at? Like, it ain't no new stuff, bro. Hold up, these are prophecies. They ain't taking place yet. So we telling you before it happens. Then you got to actually let it manifest and you got to live it out, man. All right, and that's what we're doing right now, man. All right, the whole, you know, not all in full detail, but really the Bible contains everything from here into eternity, man. All right, because after these last couple prophecies of this here destruction, you know, the mark of the beast, you know, the lake of fire situation with Babylon being turned into a lake of fire, you know, thermonuclear destruction over here, the elect being saved, you know, the chariots coming, you know, and there's some other little minor ones in there too, like global economic collapse, you know, which goes into that mark of the beast. But nevertheless, you know, you would think that that's the end all prophecies, you know, or once the Lord come and he take over, that's it. Nah, well, I mean, you got things like in Isaiah 60, where it says, then all thy people shall be righteous. You know what I'm saying? The small one shall become a small one, or a small one shall be like 1,000, and a little one a great nation. All right, or Revelation, what is that, 21:4, where the Most High is going to wipe away all your tears and neither no more sorrow, whatever, whatnot. Going back to Isaiah 60, you know, talking about shit, us getting slaves, right? You know, and then there's a precept where it says the Lord is going to put his law, statutes, commandments in our inward parts, and we're not going to teach our brethren no more about the law, so we're going to all be righteous, you know. And you know, they say in the scriptures that how you put it? It says the wages of sin are death. All right, so we know that, and sin is what? Transgression of the law. All right, so if we know that we're not going to sin no more, we're going to live forever. All right, and then the kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom. All right, then we're going to have all these children. See, that's going into forever, man. So the prophecies pretty much still keep rolling, you know. You know, we're going to be in the kingdom of heaven. Then they talk about how Esau's going to serve out 1,000 years, and he's going to be basically rounded up and burnt up, you know. That's all happening after the fact that this here destruction, where people think, oh, that's just the end of the world, that's it. Nah, man, but we've been telling you about these here prophecies over and over again because of the fact that they got to play out and manifest, man. And that's what you see happening right now, man. All right. So, you know, for these people that think that, oh, y'all, you know, stop with all that negativity. Y'all always talking about negative things. You hear some people saying this, you know, like the scripture say, prophesying to smooth things, you know. That's what our people like hearing. They want to be pacified on their wickedness. You know, they don't want to hear that they going off or hear about the Lord bringing judgment, because they just want to be, you know, oblivious to that whole fact and just, I'm going to just do me, you know, be blind. I don't care. I don't see nothing. But ultimately, it's really the Most High that's blinded their ass so that they don't get this serious salvation. All right. Let me read this one more time. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, both prophesied against many countries and against great kingdoms of war, evil, and pestilence. All right. So let me go to, matter of fact, I'm going to get it in Luke. This is, I'm going to start at verse 8. This is Luke 21:8. It says, and he said, take heed that, I don't want to read this in Matthew 24. So like, I'm going to just read it here. I was just thinking about, you know, the last precept I read and going in, you know, Matthew 24 basically reiterates this here same thing. All right. Luke 21:8, it says, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and the time draweth near, go ye not therefore after them. All right. And you got a lot of these different religions out here, whatever, whatnot, that's popping off. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. All right. And we definitely live in a time of war and commotions. You know, the year started out with Donald Trump using a drone strike to kill Soleimani of Iran. All right. You know what I'm saying? And then now you see the saber rattling of that nation. All right. You see, matter of fact, there's a recent attack on Saudi Arabia's oil field. All right. From basically, they saying it basically came from Iran. You know, you got all these different situations going on with you know, wars and rumors of wars is going on throughout the earth right now, man. All right. So it says, but when you should hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Which it'll say here again in verse, where is it at? Verse 25. We're going to get down there as well, too. Well, let me just read verse 25 and go back up. This is Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. All right. You know, we see that with these eclipses and so on and so forth. All right. And upon the earth, distress of nations. All right. And we definitely seeing that with the uproars, uprisings of these different, these people around the earth, man. All right. You basically got one, recently popped off in, basically like Palestine, the Palestine portion of Israel, you know, because you got basically two different nations on the same landmass, right? And they going through their situations right now. But nevertheless, you know, they had a protest over there. You had one, I believe another one in, oh no, that was in Turkey, as a matter of fact, one of the U.S. embassies in Turkey, I believe. You just got them all over the place right now, man. All right. But nevertheless, let me continue on. It says, And there shall be signs in the sun, the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. All right, so you got these problems like what you got going on right now, like we was just reading up here in verse 8. Let me read that one more time. But when you should hear of wars and commotions, all right, going back down to what we was just reading about the perplexity of and distress of nations, all right, you got all these different problems like going on all in the same thing, the global uprisings, you know, what do we do? What do we do? So on and so forth. But then you also have the pestilence and the plagues, which it'll reiterate further down. All right, you have these pestilence and these plagues is going out. Oh, how do we stop this? How do we stop that? You know, you got international flights coming from China or whatever, whatnot. And you got these airports like, nah, hell no, don't land over here. Don't bring that over here. Well, how do we stop it? How do we control it? We don't know, but y'all keep y'all ass over there, you know? It says, verse 10, then say unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, which we've been seeing that, and great earthquakes, which, man, we've been in, it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. All right, so, hey, going into that, you had shit over 1,000 of them hit Puerto Rico. Turkey just got hit with a fucking earthquake. Where's that other spot? Jamaica just got hit with an earthquake so damn bad. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. Jamaica got hit with an earthquake so damn bad that you could feel it down in South Florida, like around Miami. All right, and plus, hey, they looking for tsunamis, man. You see them saying that Florida is not that high up off the ocean. You see them saying that Florida really don't have that many hills out here, man. So, hey, man, you know, water could literally just cover the whole state of Florida, man. All right. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famine. You know, you got that going on in Venezuela. Hey, but also with this here coronavirus situation, man. All right, you starting to see like the stock markets losing points or whatever, whatnot. But just think about this, man. They didn't quarantined off over there in Wuhan, right? You know, they got everybody blocked off. You can see videos of empty streets or whatever, whatnot, and nobody moving out there, whatever, whatnot. You know, it's completely quarantined off. All right. Now, let's just say this actually spreads a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, like it's spreading out around the whole globe. But nevertheless, just imagine when it get to if it gets to a point to where it's like, all right, well, we got to quarantine a lot of different big major cities and whatever, whatnot. In these cities, you also have what? Factories and things, right? Like out here in Florida, like around where I'm at, you got Tropicana orange juice, right? You know, the company Tropicana, right? Now, damn near all of they, you know, because the orange fields are out here, right? So they got a couple different other spots, but basically this is the main spot where they get all the Tropicana orange juice from, right over here, right? But nevertheless, just imagine, you know what I'm saying, they have to quarantine off, and again, they're not gonna find out on day one. They're gonna wait till they get a couple different cases and realize what's going on before they quarantine off the situation. But now what happens if you got one person that worked over at Tropicana, right, wound up catching this here shit because he traveled over there or whatever, whatnot, however he got it, right? Been at work for a week or whatever, whatnot, you know, and then wound up going home, and then, you know, all of a sudden he didn't infected a couple of his employees, you know, or his co-workers and stuff like that, you know, and none of them know off rip that they all got infected or whatever, whatnot, you know. Then all of a sudden they go home and their families, like I explained earlier, but nevertheless they dealing over here with this here product that's going to be shipped throughout the whole earth, all right, or wherever they sell Tropicana orange juice at. You know, I'm pretty sure that you know, it's all over the United States. They sell it at least, you know, throughout the whole continental United States, man. And like I said, you can go look on a package, any Tropicana, you know, package or whatever, whatnot, and look at the back label and see where the address is at. It's all come from this one location. And I know exactly where the fuck it's at, man. But nevertheless, just imagine that. Now you got this whole plant, right? This whole, you know, big ass plant that, you know, one person got infected and so on and so forth. And again, they start spreading it to everybody else, man. All right. So this is going to start to cause what? Manufacturing companies and all these big shipping companies and things like that. It wouldn't surprise me now, you know what I'm saying, if it get worse over there in China, that they start how do you say, stop the cargo ships from coming over here with a lot of these products that America's buying, you know, because China's #1 customer when it comes to buying imports, you know. But nevertheless, you know, America wound up getting a lot of shit from them. Damn near everything comes from China over there, man. So what happens if we get to a point of like, oh shit, this is kind of, you know, so on and so forth, you know, hey, how you know that ain't already happened now, where somebody that just so happened to be over in the affected area got infected and went back home, was working over there at the ports, containment shipments, and so on and so forth, you know, just like we read it in the article about these other 2 people who wound up catching it and spreading it to Japan and Germany. You see what I'm saying? But it says, verse 11, a great earthquake shall be in diverse places, famine, pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. All right. But nevertheless, hey, this is what the Most High had prophesied about, you know, or he had his men out there prophesying, like we read in Jeremiah 28:8, saying that the prophets before me and before thee of old both prophesied against great kingdoms and many countries of evil, pestilence, and basically death and destruction. All right. But look, this is, it's reiterated right here as well, too. This is YAHAWASHI speaking, letting you know about before his return, what the condition of the earth will be in. All right. Let me go from there to let me close out with this. Salah, give me a second. 2nd Ezra 16-17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Meaning, woe means like destruction. It's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Ezra's been seeing some shit. It's like, just imagine you being Ezra's, right? And you like, Ezra's, 2nd Ezra chapter 13 is when Ezra seen the Lord come back in the chariots and start destroying these motherfuckers in World War III. So like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You can't even fathom what the hell that shit look like, bro, in like real life. So imagine seeing this for the first time in a vision. You're like, what the fuck? Like these chariots came and they decimating everything in the middle of World War III and thermonuclear missiles coming down. And you seeing all those things, you know what I'm saying? You're like, how the fuck am I gonna make it out of that? You know what I'm saying? Just like you learn about the Illuminati and their plans, like the Georgia Guidestones or whatever, whatnot. You hear about all these different things, all this evil shit. If you got some kind of sense of your mind, you be like, damn, well, I'm just little old me. How the fuck do I compete against X, Y, and Z, man, when these motherfuckers got all kind of shit, Or, they spraying you with chemtrails. Well, how do I compete with the chemtrails, motherfucker? I ain't got no kind of money to build me some kind of apparatus to not, get infected by all these things. But nevertheless, hey, man, this is the scenario that Ezra was in. Woe is me, man. Whoa, what the fuck is going on here? All right. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning. Now, we just read that in Luke 21, or also you can read it in Matthew 24. All right, Matthew 24, verse 8 say, I believe it's verse 8, says, all these are the beginning of sorrows, Don't fear these things because these are all the beginning of sorrows, Verse 18, reiterating, says the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. All right, great death. All right, by way of many different ways, famines, the sword, but also pestilence. All right, and then pestilence can come in forms of a lot of different things, man. One of those ways could be what? How you call them? Diseases. All right, these are, they could be a disease, could be a pestilence, a plague. You see what I'm saying? Just like in Egypt, the Lord sent those plagues upon the Egyptians, so on and so forth, But nevertheless, this was prophesied to be in the condition of the end days, it would be great death going around. All right, now you starting to see, on the earth with the coronavirus, not just that, you had the Ebola outbreak a while back. All right, now one thing that nobody's really talking about here in America is the heightened rate of STDs here in America, man. That shit is like off the chain. Like, yo, like that shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple different I forgot what the hell I was looking up, but the points that they make on it is like, and you can clearly see this shit with these new dating apps, the Tinders and shit like that, where people swiping left and right. Motherfucker, I thought that shit was like some kind of joke or some shit like, oh yeah, like I knew the Tinder shit was like a real site, but I used to think that motherfuckers, because they say, oh yeah, you want to go fuck somebody tonight? Hey, get on Tinder. They all fuckable. They all do. You want to go basically go find whatever you want to go find, do that shit on Tinder. It's like, yo, that's the new updated whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like going to the bar back in the days or the clubs back in the days. Well, by the end of the night, everybody kind of drunk and they'll basically take anybody home. They don't really ask no kind of questions about nothing, which I found that used to be super gross. Like, bitch, you just met this motherfucker, right? Y'all over here having unprotected sex. Like, y'all only known each other for 30 minutes. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? But now with the rise of these social media dating apps, all right, like this with these little where people are basically going on there at the end of the night. It's like, you going on Uber Eats or some shit, scrolling down the list to see what the fuck you finna eat. You know what I'm saying? Or where we gonna eat tonight or whatever, whatnot. That's basically like what that shit is like now. All right. But you have that going on. Plus with the so-called new culture, these people, you know what I'm saying, with these rappers and stuff like that, talking, promoting having unprotected sex. And you got a couple of these different rappers that the whole public, not just rappers, but musicians, which they all pretty much sleep with the same people. So they all pretty much got this. This was something that came out years and years ago, that they all are pretty much affected because they all sleep with each other, all these celebrities. But nevertheless, now in this new culture, that's what they're promoting, a high promiscuous, being promiscuous, for these women, go sleeping with whoever, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or sleeping with people unprotected. Then they found out these people, like I said, got these STDs and shit. You got Usher, NBA YoungBoy, so on and so forth, Cardi B. All these people, they say that they got herpes and shit like that. Like, a lot of these motherfuckers is going to court over this shit too. So it ain't like no just he say she say. Like in Usher case, this motherfucker got to go to court for that. You know what I'm saying? NBA YoungBoy, his mama exposed him. Cardi B, shit, they got pictures of her ass from way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And then people that knew her exposed her ass. But then she got the nerve, and in her situation, her shit around her mouth, and she got a nerve to be in a song talking about how she kissed whatever her man name is in the mouth. I'm like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and people know about this shit. But they just, Cardi B got it. I can do it, whatever, whatnot. Well, NBA YoungBoy, I think it's NBA YoungBoy. If I'm mistaken, it might be another motherfucker, but I think it's him. But he got it, and he still got bitches, and these women still be wanting to be with him. This motherfucker like, yo, the hell are y'all doing? That's why I say this is new culture. These new people, that's what they like. They be like, well, we know, but he got fame or whatever. Like, yo, you just a thought, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, just like a random thought in your head, you a thought that's going to be gone within 10, 20 minutes anyway. You know what I'm saying? Once you get bored with your ass entertaining that thought, your ass going to be up out the window. So what you going to do with something that you can't give back, you can't get rid of for the rest of your life, man? All right? Yeah, you kind of ride on the high cloud right now with a little bit of fame because you ain't even really dating homeboy. You just want his little side pieces for the internet to show off and troll. You know what I'm saying? So he can get him a little bit of box here and there. You know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't get this dude no boxing. You probably would. I would say in a regular scenario, you probably would, though. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? You doing this shit, but your time's only going to be for a moment. This nigga be telling you, I'm like, yeah, as soon as my girl got out of jail or whatever the fuck's going on with his situation, I'm going to be right back with her, and these bitches got to go. And this nigga over here videotaping the shit, saying it with the bitches right there. And he's like, yeah, bitch, you're going to have to leave after so on and so forth, right? And then she's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, what kind of bitch would go jeopardize her life for this type of shit? But this is the society that we living in. These are the same people that are going out every fucking night. Basically, just, you got the slut walk going on with Amber Rose. You can't tell women about whatever, whatnot, because they want to be equal, could do whatever man do, whatever, whatnot. And they're like, we ain't promoting that shit for men either. Like, as I grew up and my eyes started opening to a whole lot of shit. Like, yo, you got to watch where you put your shit at, man. You don't want to be just sticking your rod up in any damn thing, bro. Like, nah, hell nah. Like, You should be respecting your body way more than that. Like, nah, ain't no telling what the fuck she got or what the fuck they been doing or what kind of drugs they been shooting up or whatever, man. That's another thing, the fucking drug epidemic. A lot of these motherfuckers sharing needles and shit like that, too. So you can see how these STDs are just rampant right now, man. You see what I'm saying? This shit is just rampant right now, man. All right? But nevertheless, and this is the plagues that the Most High is sending towards the earth right now, man. Let me go back. 2 Ezra 16 and 18, it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. All right? And that's what you got going on, great death. All right? People getting put to death left and right in gruesome ways. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. All right? That's what you see going on right now with these, not to say elites, but the people in higher up government. All right? Like, the Soleimani situation, right? Donald Trump was about to make his speech. You had some people like, oh, shit, man. You know what I'm saying? The Selective Services website wound up being shut down because so many people was hitting it at one time in fear of being drafted, But nevertheless, you got all these different politicians and so on and so forth, these heads of states. They all like, yo, we need to de-escalate this situation quick before we have an all-out nuclear war, all right? It says, let me finish verse 18. It says, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for an amendment. All right, so this is sent for you to be able to change. All right, verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges. All right, and this is the scenario that we in right now, man. All right, in a time where there's a bunch of death and destruction going out throughout the whole earth, and we've been telling you this from Jump Street. All right, telling you about all these different things. It's like before we was telling you about the chariots, people called it a cycle, but now the news is telling you that, yeah, there's UFOs out there. We got plenty of videos. Now people want to believe it. We got to go storm Area 51 and go get the UFOs. Wait a minute, you dumb niggas. You was the niggas that was scoffing at us beforehand, talking about, you know what I'm saying, we believe in UFOs, so-called UFOs, or we crazy. But you niggas is going over there to storm Area 51. And if you did your research, that's not even where the shit is at anyway. They just test fucking new planes that they coming out with over at Area 51. Now, they do got a secret base. So how you gonna have a secret base that everybody know about? They put this shit in movies. They put this shit in video games. Bruh, for real. But anyway, as a side note to Area 51, see these smart, dumb niggas that don't know shit about that over there. Like, first of all, they test planes over there. Beside Area 51 is a location called S4. It's like S1, 2, 3, and 4. But inside of S4 is where they, some of these top officials or whatever, whatnot, say that they have so-called chariots out there, which Where do they get these chariots from? Oh, well, the Most High's creation, his creation failed. You think the angels, they chariots just crashed? Fuck nah. These niggas are just trying to invent this technology to be able to fight against the Lord because they know that the Lord's coming back. You know what I'm saying? But hey, the Lord gonna have laser weapons. They created laser weapons. You see what I'm saying? So that's all they doing over there is trying to develop all this here new shit. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, yeah, going back to verse 19, behold, famine, plagues, and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for an amendment. But like I said, man, all these things are starting to happen. We've been prophesying about it, and people used to laugh and scoff at us before. But now when we start to see these things happen, people are like, yo, they want to keep turning up and be wicked, Their number one thing is, well, I ain't going to live my life in fear and whatever, whatnot, and just be living in negativity. If God going to come and destroy it and I can't change it and I can't be saved anyway and whatever, whatnot, well, fuck it. I'm going to just keep doing me then. That's what these people, that's what we read it here, but that's ultimately what these people are doing, man. You have these Americans over here, they telling you, hey, man, with the coronavirus, don't go into large populated places and stuff like that. These Americans, and they're proud of these motherfuckers and be like, matter of fact, let me jump down a little bit. Where is it at, man? Desire to see. Hang on. Oh, I think it's 15 in yeah. Second Ezra 15 and 18. It says, well, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Going into what? Because of the fact of, we bring this here out when talking about martial law, when they shut down everything, you know what I'm saying? And martial law is pretty much the same thing as being under quarantine, You have a curfew, or martial law most time give you a curfew. In quarantine, depending on what the fuck the virus is, your ass can't go outside at all. Like, that's what's going on in Wuhan right now, where they got those so-called ghost cities where people can't even go outside because it's under quarantine, all right? But not only that, you can't leave the city, all right? You can't leave wherever they quarantine, whatever boundaries you got, you can't leave. Let's say that they quarantine the state of Georgia, right? You can't leave the state of Georgia and go to any other state. You basically stuck inside those boundaries, all right? That border, all right? But nevertheless, these are the things that's going to wind up happening, especially like it says here, because of the pride of the city, And like I said, we bring this out on a lot of different scenarios dealing with, martial law and things like that, whether it be like you got the Second Amendment protests and the rallies or whatever, whatnot, impeaching Donald Trump, all these different things. Because, when you read up of another verse, talking about not regarding their kings or their princes, all right, because of the fact that, you have these global uprisings and so on and so forth that's happening, and all of a sudden you're going to have pandemonium take place, all right? Then they're going to shut down things. But at the same time, all right, because like I said, martial law is pretty much akin to a quarantine, Quarantine is more or less like they just coming in to, let's say, for instance, to give you an example, the area is shut down because we're under a search and rescue operation. This big-ass building collapsed and we're under search and rescue, right now. So we want to cordon off this here area so that, none of the evidence is contaminated or whatever, whatnot, That would pretty much be like being under quarantine. Now, martial law would be like, all right, we got a madman or a killer on the loose within these here boundaries, so we're going to shut off this here city, all right, or these here boundaries, and nobody coming out and nobody going in, we under basically military patrol, all right? That would basically be the difference between the two, but at the end all be all, the thing that they have in common is what? You basically locked inside of your damn city. You can't leave your city, and that's what you got going on in Wuhan, where there's a population of 11 million, all right? And there's a lot of states here in America where the population is under 11 million, so it's not far-fetched for them to sit here and shut down the whole state, all right? I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal YAHAWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, RAKAKWADASH. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And citation and much love for Yahawashi pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.